is a church. It was a Messianic Synagogue is what it was. Because remember, there was no Christian church at this time. This is not a Christian church. This is a Messianic synagogue.
It was a pretty big one, too. Ephesus was a pretty big port city.
Yeah, it was huge. They estimate that when John was pastoring there, it was probably about 100,000 members. So
that's a mega synagogue.
Yeah.
Instead of a mega church.
Yeah. So, but this is up in Turkey. This isn't in Israel. This is in Turkey at Ephesus, and it's a Messianic synagogue. And so he's writing to this synagogue. These are all believers in Messiah. These are not Orthodox Jews. They have their own Orthodox synagogue.
And this is the one that was 100,000. They all believed in Yeshua Messiah.
It was Messianic.
Wow.
So here's what he writes to them. He says, don't forget that you Gentiles. So we know that there's Gentiles in this mix. We read it right here, right? He's writing to the Messianic congregation. It's Ephesus 2:11. If you want to look that up. And I'm reading from the New Living Translation. He's writing to this synagogue, which is a mixed multitude. So he says, don't forget that you Gentiles. So now he's addressing the Gentile part of the congregation, that you Gentiles used to be outsiders. You were called uncircumcised heathens by the Jews who were proud of their circumcision, even though it affected only their bodies and not their hearts. In those days, you were living apart from Messiah. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
He says, you were excluded from citizenship among the people of Israel. That goes to Romans 11. We're to be grafted into them. This is very interesting because the Gentile is grafted into the Jew, not the other way around. The Jew isn't grafted into the Gentile. We got that's 180 degrees backwards today. But we are to be grafted in. This is what he says. So you were excluded from citizenship among the people of Israel. You did not know the covenant promises God made to them. You lived in this world without God and without hope. But now you've been united with Messiah Yeshua. Once you were far away from God, but now you've been brought near to him through the blood of Messiah. For Messiah himself has brought peace to us. He united Jews and Gentiles into one people when in his own body on the cross, he broke down the wall of hostility that separated us. He did this by ending the system of law with its commandments and regulations. In other words, he ended the legalism of the law. That's what this means. He ended the legalism, the system of the law with its commandments and regulations. He made peace between Jews and Gentiles by creating in himself one new people from the two groups. Together, as one body, Messiah reconciled both groups to God by means of his death on the cross, and our hostility toward each other was put to death. He brought this good news of peace to you Gentiles. He's still speaking predominantly to the Gentile people in this congregation. He brought this good news of peace to you Gentiles who were far away from him, and peace to the Jews who were near. Now, all of us can come to the Father through the same Holy Spirit because of what Messiah has done for us. So now you Gentiles are no longer strangers and foreigners. You are citizens along with all of God's holy people. You are now members of God's family. Together, we are his house, built on the foundation of the apostles and the prophets, and the cornerstone is Messiah Yeshua himself. We are carefully joined together in him, becoming a holy temple for the Lord. Through him, you Gentiles are also being made part of this dwelling where God lives by his Spirit.